separate average investors from extraordinary ones. Understanding key metrics like Alpha and Sortino Ratio. These are more than just fancy finance terms. They are tools to evaluate and optimize your investments. These metrics help you measure investment performance and manage risk like a pro. By the end of this video, you will know what Alpha and Sortino Ratio are, why they are important, and how to use them to build a better portfolio. Let's dive in. Alpha is a key measure of an investment's performance compared to a benchmark index. Think of it as the extra return your investment generates above the market average. Alpha shows whether your investment manager or strategy is adding value. For example, if your portfolio has an alpha of plus 2%, it means it is outperforming the benchmark by 2%. Conversely, a negative alpha indicates underperformance. Alpha is a great metric for assessing active management strategies, but remember, higher alpha often comes with higher risk. That is where Sortino Ratio comes in. The Sortino Ratio is a risk-adjusted return metric that focuses on downside risk, basically the risk of losing money. Unlike its cousin, the Sharpe Ratio, Sortino only considers negative volatility, which makes it precise for investors. Here is how it works. The Sortino Ratio divides the excess return of an investment by its downside deviation. In simpler terms, it tells you how much return you are getting for the risk of losses you are taking on. For example, if you're comparing two portfolios, the one with a higher Sortino Ratio is delivering better returns relative to its downside risk. It is an essential tool for conservative investors who want to minimize losses. When used together, Alpha and Sortino Ratio provide a comprehensive view of an investment performance and risk profile. Alpha tells you whether an investment is beating the market, while Sortino Ratio tells you whether it is doing so efficiently and with manageable risk. By both, you can identify strategies that offer high returns without exposing you to excessive losses. Now that you understand what they mean, let's talk about how to calculate and apply these metrics to your portfolio. To calculate alpha, determine the portfolio's return and benchmark's return. Subtract the benchmark return from the portfolio return. To calculate Sortino Ratio, find the portfolio's excess return over the risk-free rate. Measure the downside deviation. Divide the excess return by the downside deviation. If this sounds complex, don't worry. Platforms like Morningstar and Bloomberg and even certain apps provide these metrics for you. Use them to compare funds, evaluate managers, or fine-tune your portfolio strategy. Now that you have to choose, here are some tips to get the most out of them. Use Alpha and Sortino Ratio alongside other metrics like Beta and Sharpe Ratio for a well-rounded view. If you are risk-averse, prioritize investment with a higher Sortino Ratio. Focus on consistent Alpha and Sortino Ratio over time rather than short-term spikes. Understanding Alpha and Sortino puts you ahead of the game. Knowledge is power, and in investing, it is profit. Metrics like Alpha and Sortino Ratio aren't just numbers. They are insight into how your money is working for you. Use them wisely, and you'll be on the path to smarter and more profitable investing. If you found this video helpful, subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments what your favorite investment metric is.